Okay, this one might be a long one because I'm going to just show how you can use a CAD program to figure out stairs exactly. And then when you go to build them on site, your cut sheet keeps you perfect. Hopefully that's not too loud. I've been harassed about framers can't do anything without music. So I'm just proving that point. All right, so what you're going to do, this X right here happens to be 0,0 in this software application. And actually, I'm going to take a box. I'm just going to go like this, okay? And I'll go, that's plenty long. We'll just, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with a 9-foot ceiling, which is 9 foot 1 1/8. And then I'm going to put another box on there. And this will be 11 7/8 I-joists. And then I'm going to put on 3/4 inch subfloor. And let's dimension that real quick. All right, 10 foot 1 3/4. And if you were to write that in feet, inches, sixteenths, go to the center here, that would be 10-1-12. So I'm just going to put that number over there. Whoops, come here, you. Actually, I want to do that. That's weird when that happens. Some kind of shortcut thing. All right, so there's the height, floor to floor. Let's say this is slab, whatever, and they're going to have hardwood or what is it, LVP down here and LVP up here. Sometimes you might have tile or carpet or real hardwood or whatever, and then you'll have something different up here, and you have to take those into consideration when you're doing your calculations. So I'm going to try something new. I'm also going to include the calculator that I use and screen record it. And then I'll just learn how to use some video editing software. And I will include that. I'll mix it into the video somehow so you could see it, like it'll be off to the side or something. So give me just a second. I'm going to turn on, let's see, screen record and microphone on. All right, so now that's recording. Here's the calculator. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit riser 1. And our floor to floor in feet, inches, 16th. We're going to enter that. 10-1. Oh, that's not, duh. Okay, so 10 space 1 space 12. So it's an array, and then you hit enter. And what this does is it gives you options on riser height. So if I went with 16 risers, my riser height would be 7 5/8, which is the optimal riser height for stairs. If you did 7 5/8 and 10, that's optimal. If you want a more comfortable step, you would go down to 7 3/16, which is, it says tip. Or if you wanted ADA, it has to be 7 inches or less. So you would be 6 3/4 inches with 18 risers. And as everybody knows, as you add a riser, you also have to add a tread. So if your stairwell opening is tight, you're going to want to go with 16 risers and 15 treads. Or if you want to go ahead and go ADA, you're adding 2 extra treads. So it could be 20 inches or 22 inches that you're adding to the length of your stairs. So for this one, let's do 17 risers, and we'll just take the middle. So what I'm going to do is clear this. We're going to make these very comfortable steps. We're going to go like this. 10 space 1 space 12. Enter. You see how the calculator prompts you with the information? No calculator in the world does this except this one, only because I programmed it, and you can program it too. If you had this kind of calculator, you can make it do whatever you want to exactly what you want. And one of the reasons I did this was I didn't have the money to have multiple calculators, and number 2, I don't like remembering all the steps and what button, and way more button pushing in a Construction Master or Build Calc where you could fat finger something. Then you got to start over. So riser count, we said we were going to do 17. Enter. And on this one, instead of doing it like minimum 10 inches, we'll do 11. Enter. And boom. So let me identify these numbers. The first set of numbers on the bottom, the 16 long to short and 12 long to short, that's the length along the top of a board, typically whatever your walls are made out of. So if it's a 2x4 wall, you take a 2x4 block and you're going to measure 1'5" and 5/16, and you're going to put the stair angle as a bevel long to short so that you can put in fire blocking. So there you go. There's your fire blocks. And these numbers are your step diagonals. And that's from the intersection on the outer edge of the stringer where the riser and tread cuts meet, from that point to the next point to the next point to the next point. And why these are good numbers is you can lay out your 2x12 or your LVL, whatever you're making your stringer out of, and make a mark at every one of these points. And then as you're sliding your framing square along, you can make sure that you are lined up on that mark instead of coming along 11 inches and eyeballing it and maybe using a Sharpie and making your line kind of thick. Ask me how that happened. Yeah, I've done that. I've laid out a set of stairs where by the time I was done, I was over 3/8 of an inch off at the end because I wanted to use a big bold line. So I was able to fix it, but to be precise, lay out your step diagonals, and there they all are. I'm slowly getting them. There's a little bit of a lag in this iPad app. I think I'm going to turn that down a little bit because it's just a little bit annoying. I'm wearing headphones, so it's hard to kind of focus on that. Okay, so your main diagonal, that is how long your stair stringer is exact. So if I was going to order a stringer, I don't think I would order an 18-foot because there's not enough. Typically, when you get into those kind of boards, there'll be a split or a crack. If this was an LVL, sure, 18-foot LVL, or you can actually order those and buy the foot length. So anyways, I would order 20-footers. And then here's your stair run, your stairwell run. And it's in feet, inches, sixteenths, or inches, because some people swear by inches. The common pitch, if you wanted to take your speed square or whatever, is 7.8 and 12, if you needed to draw that line on something. And where it says slope 33.06, which is really, you know, in framing terms, 33 degrees, that would be the bevel that you would add to your fire blocking so that you could cut long to short on a chop saw and make your blocks 1 foot 5 and 5/16 long to short at that bevel. There's the exact riser to that many decimal places, or it's 7 and 3/16. And the reason why I wanted both is when you're in a CAD program and you want to offset to the closest perfect you can. And that means, let me open something up here and shut it off. There we go. That means that when you offset, you minimize your amount of error that you're introducing. If you just did 7 and 3/16, that would be 7.1875. And so you'd be gaining like 2/100ths of an inch every time you did it. And it would add up. You'd be wrong at the end. Not a deal breaker, but you would be wrong. So there. And then the rest of these numbers are the accumulated rise. And why that's good is, let's say, okay, you have riser 1, 7 and 3/16, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say on the 7th riser at 4 foot 2 and an 1/8, that's going to be a landing, and your stairs are going to go another direction. Well, that's the finished landing height, 4 foot 2 and an 1/8. And then you would subtract whatever flooring, subfloor, all that. And then you could be able to put a laser on that and build your platform framing, and everything would be correct. So that's the rest of this. And I think that's all there is. These are all the... So what I'm going to do now that I've erased everything, I'm going to go back and I'm going to really quickly crank these numbers in and then stop recording, and I will use this. Boom. Okay. We're going to stop recording on this one. And now we're going to come over here. This is the CAD program. I just need to get that exact number, how far I'm coming up. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to use construction lines like this. And, whoops, sorry about that. These headphones are kind of, you know what? I don't think I need these headphones. And I'm going to take this, if I can grab it, and I'm going to go multi-copy. It's going to ask me for a length, and I'm going to go 7.161 764 70588. Hit OK. And then I'm going to grab this and just pull it straight up. Don't need these. Oh yeah, let me grab whatever I intersect with. Boom. Okay, so there's all the risers. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I wonder if it'll let me do vertical construction lines. Oh, baby. Look at that. All right. And then I'm going to go like this. Click on this one. I'm going to hit the multiple copy. I'm going to say 11. Go like this. Grab here. Okay. So that's kind of cool. Now I want to just do a standard line. And it doesn't let me do line style from there. Okay. I wonder why that is. Let me just draw a line real quick and then check it. Yeah, line weight 5, CAD default. First of all, you know what I want to do with this? I want to open it up and I want to call it something different. Define. I'm going to call it, where's copy? Copy. And all caps so that it stands out. Stairs. And I'm going to change this to 10. Hello. 10. And hit OK. There you go. So now it's going to be a little thicker. Now let's see, did I... Yeah, see, it doesn't let me... Oh, hold on, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't do that. Let's see what happens when I just start drawing this. So I'm going to go up. Oh, you know what's going to be cool? There is, let's see, tab, delete. There is a right hand that keeps, so you draw with the right mouse first. And then your mouse tracks you and you just drag and click. I need this thing to give me those little intersect points. Come on. Why aren't you? You notice it's not letting me have that intersect point. What is the deal? So there's a way around that. That's okay. In fact, now that I got that started, I'm just going to say goodbye to you, goodbye to you. And I'm going to go constrained mode. Oh, interesting. Okay. So what I need to do is do one more like this. Tab 11, enter. And now I'm going to see, that's cool. You click it and the whole thing grabs. So then I'm going to go copy and place, point to point move. Then I'm going to constrain the whole thing, copy and place, point to point move. Oh, look at that. It didn't grab the point. What is the deal with that? Copy and place, point to point move right there. You got to watch it. I don't know. Sometimes Chief is like smoking crack. Copy and place, point to point move. All right. Now I'm going to, there's a tool right here, this line break tool right here. So now that separated that. So now I can, oh, come on. I click on that and then I hit delete. Boom. All right, cool. Then I can get rid of these. And I think these are all still here. All right, that's interesting. Get rid of you. Wonder why it's on here twice. That's strange. Okay, so if all you did was do stringers, I'm going to say this is an LVL, right? So I'm going to draw that, copy paste. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Let me see, where can I make that work? Huh. It doesn't want me to go all the way over there. These temporary dimensions are lame. So, because here's the problem I'm going to have. How am I going to know I'm perpendicular? Because I'm not. See that? That might be perpendicular when it does that. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go 11.87. Oops. I can really check that in case the software is messing with me, I can go 11.875, enter. Then you have to, it's pretty lame. Then you have to block this, which is this tool here. And then you rotate it somewhat close, and then you hit the parallel tool here. And you do that, and then you bring this point to point to like right there. Yeah, see? It wasn't even right because that dimension error wasn't right. So this box is 11/7/8. And I want this to be there so that I can bring this to there. See, so Chief Architect has some goofy stuff going on sometimes. It's okay, but it's not the greatest. Like if you were doing 2D line drawing all day and you didn't have to do any BIM editing or any 3D modeling, AutoCAD 2D is probably pretty good in my instance. So now check this out. If I add a tread on here, then I'm going to be taller than my 7 3/16, right? And that would also mean that my last tread would stick up above the floor. So the rule is, for this kind of work, you always, let's just grab this whole thing and see if it only grabs. Yep. And then come down, I believe it is that one. And in the Y is up and down, so we're going to go minus 1.5, because here's another thing. I like using real lumber. Yeah, of course. Don't even do that. I like using nominal lumber. I don't like there's people that really like the 1-inch OSB pre-made treads. I can't stand those. I mean, if you like them, fine. But I think they're lame. And the reason why I think they're lame is they're OSB. They'll end up out in the rain and get all kinds of rot and swelling and goofy, and people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, you're going to get a carpet pad, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I hear anybody complain about that stuff, it just tells me they have, they suffer from being a hack, in my opinion. All right. I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it. Why in the world? Why am I fighting this so much? Got to go back. I guess I didn't grab everything. Lottie-dottie, everybody. I told you this would be a long one. So, again, block the... You can't just rotate it because it'll try to rotate just one side. Yay, Chief. But once you start learning what you have to do, then you have a repertoire of workarounds. And when you go to the Chief Talk site, all these guys that are the masters, they will have every possible workaround that there is. I guess writing code is complicated. I don't know how to do it. Okay, so we've dropped 1.5 inches. And the other thing is, once I put 1.5 inches kicker, and some people are like, oh, you only need 3/4 inch. Yeah, okay, so there's a couple reasons why I use 1.5 inches. Typically because this height is going to be a 2x8. It's either going to be a 2x8 with an itty bitty gap at the bottom, or a 2x8 that you might have to rip or whatever. But each one of these vertical risers becomes its own little beam. And so if you had a pretty wide stairwell and you had, say, 4 stringers total, 2 in the middle and 2 on the walls, the one on the walls are attached to ledgers, and they're not going anywhere. The ones in the middle might sag a little bit, and if all you had was plywood, it's not going to help hold them up as much as a 2x8. 2x8 makes it way more solid. In addition to the fact that you're probably going to put some kind of knee wall under here, because nobody's going to sheetrock all the way down to nothing. you know, they'll go pretty far, but it all depends on what you're using the closet for. So let's build let's do this. I don't know if you saw what I grabbed. These are going to be 12 inches long. And it's going to go out a little bit because this is also, what is this, 1.5 inches? Okay. And then the riser, I don't really need this right now. Wow, that's so crazy. I guess when I pasted 2 of everything. It's kind of crazy. 1.5. Maybe I should speed some of this up when you guys, so you're not stuck watching some really super boring video. Copy, paste, point to point. You'll see now that that one riser we just did, it'll be ripped down to 1.5 inches less. What is this? Oh yeah, it's part of the box. Oh, it's part of that. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, we'll delete you. Okay, I'm going to say that's okay for now. So here's what we can do now is we can take this and this. First, let's just see what it should be 1 inch. Let's get a dimensioning tool out here. Yep, 1 inch. Okay. So we have a 1 inch nosing. I'm going to block this. So we're going to come down here. No, that's probably a bad idea. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Unblock this. This isn't the right height. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this. Use point to point. If you're wondering what I'm doing, point to point is this one here. So you highlight it, click on this. That's a very useful tool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go like this, like this. I'm going to block this. And then I'm going to copy, point to point move. Copy, point to point move. Now I can go and then hold down Shift and copy in place and point to point move. And copy, point to point move. And copy, point to point move. And copy, point to point move. And then let's explode this. It depends on how you do things. Some people will run their stairs, like I'll show you here. They'll do you can either do a drop stringer, or you can bring your stairs all the way up and put your last tread right flush with the subfloor. There's pros and cons to both. If this top tread ever cups or ever cracks or whatever, and it's even with your subfloor, so now you're going to have your flooring over it, you may not notice it, but it could give you a hump. And if you were going to put wood on these stairs and you cut all these treads back so there's zero nosing, I don't think this would even make a difference because you would have an inlay piece up here that would stick out whatever your hardwood is, and it would just be the same. So, but I personally, I like to go all the way up flush and inset this into the floor system only because the stringer has more to lean against. So I'm going to do that. I'll show you how I do it. Copy. Point to point. If it'll grab it. I guess I got to unblock this one to grab it. So you hear me clicking. That's a Elgato Stream Deck that I use, and it has a lot of the keyboard shortcut buttons already built in. So there's that. And I typically bring this back 1.5 inches since I have to match with the kickers. So this would be 10.5. And then this, I guess I could draw 2 lines. That would work. So the letter L line. Oh yeah, I can do that. There's a trim tool too. Shortcut TT, trim shortcut TT. And then I would do, let's do some X blocking instead of some block blocking. Oh, you know what we're going to do? No, we're going to do something different. Let's say here at the top of the stairs, for some reason you had, we did I-joist, right? Is that what we did? 11 7/8, yeah. So this will be 1 3/4 inches. And we're going to fill it with a hatch vertical that is 0.25. And we're going to multi-copy it and hit that 1.75. And then all I got to do is this. Boom. So I got 2 of those. And what was, sometimes I do, I think sometimes, if I remember correctly, I want to say I do this. I don't remember. I haven't built a set of stairs for like a while. So let's do this. It kind of depends on what the builder has on site as to what you can get. If you're actually the full framing contractor, you pretty much give him a takeoff and he will get you what you need. Yeah, I don't need that there either. But I don't really need that dimension. I need this one. So there's 12. I'll bet you I would go about half. Go here. Go 3. Wow, these are thick. We're going to turn the line thickness off. Do a little notch. Bring this over. Because what I really want is I want a good gluing surface, and I want the tread to not have anywhere to go. Right now the tread's being supported by this stringer, whatever other stringers are behind it. Yeah, it's not going to sag, not going to move. But it's even better when you can notch it into an LVL or half of a, say it's just nominal lumber. Because then you can glue all the way along here, and then you can nail down into it on a diagonal, and it will hold, let's say 5 nails all the way along a 3-foot board into this with glue and into this. So you're holding this tread super, super stout. And if there's any kind of deviance right here, like one's taller than the other, you can always just belt sand or plane it off, electric planer or whatever. Just watch for your nails. So I'm going to come over off screen for a minute and grab what is this? Look at that. There's an 11 and oh, that's a big one. It's got the wide bottom. whatever the bottom and top chord. PP. Just put that there for now. What I'm going to need to do is copy, paste, put this one back here on the nosing. But it's got to, oh, you know why it didn't snap? Because these are all blocks. So let me just unblock one of these, come down here. I need this line to snap exactly on this tip. This is going to be part of the 6'8" headroom clearance. So I'm going to click here. Whoa, I'm going to click here. What is it reading? Why can't the temporary come down here to this line? What is the deal? What is it reading to? This is stupid. All right, so let's do this then. And then let's do this. Oh, you know what else? It's not in that direction. It's in the vertical. So I'll come down here and I'll just draw a line, start drawing, tab, 6'8". Come here, grab this one, just drag it right to there. So I can have, I don't know which way these joists are going to run, but for now they're just going to run this way. I'll do this, this 16, enter. Yeah, then this would be brought back. And you'd put a piece of rim in there. There's no way you would just leave the, let's see, what are we going to use for rim? Just a box, I guess. And that rim board's typically an inch. And if you wanted to be super exact, you would go like this, copy, paste, and you'd go like this, and you would go 0.5, so there's sheetrock, and then you're going to move this and this, PP. So once this thing is sheetrocked, your framing has to stop right there for this to be 6'8". And then just to make sure, you would dimension this from this line to this line. Make sure you're hitting the line and not the, there you go. So that's the cool thing. I've had people say, well, you're just putting numbers in there. Nope. You're drawing exactly what it is in 1-to-1 size. And then when you dimension it, you get back what you just drew. And the best trick is once you start a line and you hit tab, you can punch in exactly the length you want. So I'm going to get rid of this. Well, you know what? I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to bring it down here. Because if I was making this into some kind of stair detail, I would want to leave this like that so that I can, oh, I hate these. Why do these always, they're so huge, man. I don't understand it. I don't know why it has to be that big. A lot of the default settings need to be looked at. So there's that. We cut a, so whatever your tread thickness is, you cut that amount off the bottom. And whatever your riser thickness is, you cut that off the back. And in theory, technically, you could have like a 5-inch tall tread. Like, well, let's, for example, let's say a 3.5-inch 4x12. Big piece of timber, and as long as you cut the same amount off from the bottom, then your rise is the same. Your first step has been compensated, like right here, 7 3/16. We pull that out. I couldn't measure it from here over to there because it doesn't let you measure point to point. Will go on an angle, not like AutoCAD. And so, yeah, we're all blocked. Okay, so I'll just grab one that's not blocked. Let's just do this. And we'll go unblock. Well, okay, maybe it doesn't want to do that. I'm going to regret doing this. I'll need to move something and then I'll have to reblock it again. Okay. I'll bring this up here. So now here's another thing that would be nice if it did this. Let's see, did it grab it all? No, it didn't. So if I start tracing this out, oh, come on. Start tracing this out. Oh, fuck. Okay, anyways, once you close the polyline or the polygon, then you can fill it with a color. And see, it's just starting a new line. It's so stupid. You're supposed to be able to take the end of a line, grab the diamond, drag it over, and keep going. Instead, it's starting a whole new line. And it takes time. I'm not going to waste your time. But anyway, so I would trace all these out. Then I would move this and delete all the extra lines that it created and then bring this back. But then I'd be able to fill this with like a light gray or some kind of hatching or whatever just to make the stringer stand out. Now, let's show how that fire blocking worked, because I know everybody's like, hey, wait a second, you calculated fire blocking, so why don't we look at that? So I'm just going to take simulated stud. I'm going to fill it with white so that it hides everything behind it, so it's less confusing. And I'm going to this tool, and I'm going to tell it 16 inch is perfect. Okay. And then the fire blocking usually goes from here to here, and it's a 2x4. So let's just dimension that. It should be 155. I got to use my Stream Deck. I'll tell you what. I'll try to use these tools because that's what everybody else has. So what is that? I just want those tools. All right, well, I'm gonna have to just go. Oh, you know what I can do? Here we go. It's all undone. Escape, escape, escape. I go to dimension. I go to point dimension. I go here. 1'5" and 2/16. Well, mine was not. Mine was 5/16. So what's going on here? I must have done something wrong. That's 16 inch. Oh, that's not 16 inch. What the hell? Oh, duh. You know what? So I just made a random shape and I never checked it. And look, it's not the right size. So 1.5. There you go. Now I can do this. 16, enter. Yeah. It confuses me when it says I'm wrong because I've worked a long time on this, ever since 1990, to get this right so that when I calculate things on the job site, they're right. So that says 17 1/4, but what it really says is, let's see, let's try something. What it really is right there. It's 1'5.302. So the exact length is 5/16. But Chief, it's so close to going between 1/4 and 5/16 that Chief is saying, oh, we're going to just call it 1/4. So there you go. And that's such a small amount that if you cut your blocks 17 1/4 long to short, you'd be fine. But if you want to be ninja perfect, you'd make them 5/16.